welcome back. So today we are going to have a bit of fun with alcohol ink. So I created this one yesterday. You might notice some alcohol ink under my nails. I feel like I should have maybe used a different color for my fishy here, but I mean overall it's pretty good. For somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, it is pretty good. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be having a look at Yupo alcohol ink paper. We've got a black one, and then I've also got some, I think this is like an AC, and then I've got something else here. So we're going to test and compare them to see the difference. Now the first thing that I noticed about this paper is that it almost feels like a chalkboard, but like a smooth chalkboard. You get those green chalkboards that have that smooth feel. It's like a very matte paper. It's gorgeous. I love it. Like, I'm obsessed with the feel of it. So what we're going to need first of all is to prepare our surface. Now remember, alcohol ink does stain and it can be very messy. So I have some desk savers from Craft Buddies. Now when I did the painting, I actually put it the opposite way, because I knew that the painting wasn't like a fluid that was going to leak all over the place, whereas with our alcohol ink it may just leak all over the place. So I'm first going to place this down. Okay, then I've got my 2 pieces of normal cardstock, and I'm actually just going to cut my Yupo in half because I don't want to waste it. I don't need an A4 page. I mean, you could do it on an A4 page if you wanted to. I don't need an A4 page, so we're going to do a small one. And we're going to basically try to recreate what I've already created, but we're going to do the same here. So another thing that we need is obviously our alcohol ink. So I found that the pearlescent ones work very well on the black. I just got to find them. There's so many here. So I've got the pearl one, and I was using the Pearl Lake, which is a blue. And I kind of want to use like one of the champagne, or not copper, I think the cinnamon. It's also a very dark one, but it's gorgeous, and I think that will look pretty cool. I don't know, let's see. So this was an alcohol ink that was left in the sun and the color went out of it. You could use this to do what I'm doing with, and I'm going to show it to you now, with my blending solution. So it's going to give you that same effect. Okay, so first of all, you obviously want to shake your alcohol inks. I'm going to do that for like 5 minutes. Make sure they are properly shaken. So here you can see all of the beautiful color is sitting at the bottom here. Everything on top is just going to be plain alcohol. I'm not sure if you can see that. So I need to mix that in with that by shaking it. So I'm going to get to doing that, and then we're going to get started with our little experiment. So I've given them a good shake, and we're going to start with our, so I think I'm only going to do the 2. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to start with this one. So what you would need to do is you're going to drip this basically kind of all over, no matter, or however you want your little pattern to be. And I think you can already see what the issue with this is that because this is a porous surface, it's already starting to curl, which obviously we don't want. It's curling, and it is very quickly sucking up into the paper, if you will. So I do have a straw here that I just bought and I've lost. Oh, there it is. So you see what's happening is because it's soaking through, and you can see it's already wet the back of the page. So can you see that? It's wet the back of our page already, and it's soaking through straight away. We're not getting that sort of, I don't know, coverage or spreading that we want. So what we'll do, because I think I might have cut you off on the camera there, Let's see, we're going to add some more alcohol and see if we can spread it some more, because I mean, that's the point. The point is not for it to be drops exactly where you've left them, it's for it to spread. Yeah, it's not giving the effect that we want, and it's super frustrating because then you think you're just naturally bad at doing alcohol ink art when really you're not. So again, look how wet that is. Super wet. I can actually touch it and it makes my finger wet. You don't want that. So that is normal paper. Let's try it with this one that's got the smoother feel to it. Let's see if we get a better result here. So again, just dripping it kind of where we want it to spread. So this one is giving us a better result, but again, it's gone completely through, and you can see here, it actually looks like it's taking the color of the paper with it, which obviously is not ideal again, and I can see that over here, it's starting to warp. It is giving a very beautiful effect though, I really love that. So I think we're going to try do that. Okay, so let's move on to our Yupo paper now. Yupo, somebody's going to kill me and say, that's not how you say it. Okay, so that's 2 wasted pieces. Lovely. Okay, now we're going to move on to our Yupo. Okay, so I'm going to start on this side. And I'm just going to put drips. Okay, so first I'm going to put some of my whites, and you can see it's kind of sitting on top of the paper. Yes, it is soaking in, but not the way the other one was. That looks cool. Okay. Oopsie. So for the purpose of this one, I do want it to go off the edge, like you can see, which is why I said put a desk saver. Now, let's just be clear. I'm not claiming to be some artist when it comes to alcohol ink. I'm just somebody that's trying this out, wants to have a bit of fun with it, and wants something that's actually going to work. So just to bring you back to this, I have to stand up to see if you can see what I can see, is that it's warped outwards. And this has sunk inwards because obviously we wet it. So it looks beautiful. It's nice and shiny and bright. But it has a huge warp in it, which kind of defeats the object. So that is not good. Okay, so we're going to start on the opposite side, which I'm going to do some blue. And we don't want them to touch. Reason for that is that we are going to see how we can make them come together. But if we make them touch now, then it is unfortunately going to mix and we're going to have a horrible mess. So we're going to put some more white. And I just find that the white gives it a nice contrast on the black. It helps it stand out more. And then you get this really cool like white effect around it. And when I'm blowing on it, did I use the right one? I did. Oopsie, don't shake your bottle while it's open. And when I'm blowing on it, I'm kind of swirling it because I don't want the dots to be visible. If you want them to be visible, that's completely up to you. You can do it how you want. Okay, now we're going to let this dry for a bit before we come back and add some more coloring to it. So what you can do is you can use a heat gun if you want to help dry it. I'm just going to let this sit so you'll see what happens. And what happened with my one, which I actually really loved, if I can find it here, is it gave these really cool, like, if you look at the edges, like the way it separates, and I think it came out really gorgeous for like a first proper try. I think it came out really well. So we're going to let that dry a little bit. What I do want to do is add some of the darker blue into this. How stunning is that? So again, we kind of wanted to mix a bit. And you can obviously add your mixing component in there to help them mix, and obviously blow on it. So you can see it's kind of mixing. That looks pretty cool, I would say. Pretty cool. So we're going to go and we're going to do something here. I'm not sure what to try and allow them to mix, but I do want them to dry. But you can see this one. So if you have a look at them, you can kind of see, it kind of turns plasticky, if you could say that, and it gets super sticky. Like there, it's super sticky. So what you would do then, if I can find the skizzers, and for this part, so I'm using some of the Couture Creations foiling sheets, foiling rolls. So I cut it up like pretty small so that I can have some better control over it. And you can actually just dab on the edges where it's already dry. And you can see the foil is going to stay behind. And that's to give you your shiny edges. So you want to be careful where it's still wet. You obviously don't want to put it where it's wet. You can see I'm just getting some foil there. Looking good. And then once the middle dries, we will obviously go and do that in the middle too. But for now, the middle is not dry. Like now you can see I got it on my fingers again, and it's super sticky, like super sticky, but it's fun, I guess. It's fun. So now we've got that on the edges, inside still wet, and we're still going to go and put something there. Okay, so so what we're going to do now is we're going to put the white here where they are meeting. Oh, my stuff's gone. I know. It just doesn't feel done. Like it's not mixing where I want it to mix, if that makes sense. That looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. We need to do something with the blue though, because the blue's feeling incomplete now. If you get my drift. We're going to obviously now, once it's dried a bit, we're going to go and we're going to add in, sorry. we're gonna go and we're gonna add in, I don't like these lines, I kind of want it to be soft. Okay, so once that's done, we're gonna go in and we're gonna add in our foils. I do want to add more here, but I want it to dry first, and the reason for that is you can see what's happening here. It's giving it like craters almost, if that makes sense. So that is from this pushing the colors outwards and creating these like beautiful little craters in it. That looks really cool. So what I do think we need to do on the edge here is add some more blue so that it actually starts from the edge, like so. Oopsie. And it's fine if it's going off, because again, I have my beautiful desk saver from Craft Buddies. And we're just going to let that travel on its own. And it will travel upwards, mix a bit. We'll see what it does, how it works. I love it though. For a not professional who doesn't know what the heck she's doing, I think I did pretty good. Well, I think I'm doing pretty good, should I say. I think. Yay! I love that I can create art just by, yeah, messing around. Okay, so while this dries, I do want to show you something that I saw on a video I watched. I wish I could remember who it was by so I could give them some credit. But most unfortunately, oops, that's the wrong one. I can't remember who it was. But I also wanted to see some alcohol ink techniques. So I actually did just watch a video to see what I could learn. So I just want to show you some of the stuff that I watched, and hopefully it will help you to create some beautiful things. Okay, so I need a paintbrush. You know, this is going to get exciting. Okay, so what you can do is you can add your blending stuffies. Okay, and you can then add your pearlescent color that you want. And then you can take your paintbrush and just very lightly paint your background. I think a bigger paintbrush would probably work best for this. But this is going to give you that beautiful soft sort of shimmery background. Oopsie, I'm making lines, but anyway, it's fine. So you would get this like beautiful soft shimmery background. Obviously this is going to dry before you continue and do whatever you're going to do with it. Okay. Oh, it's so alcohol-y in here, I might be getting drunk. Another thing in this one I battled with, she showed how to do dots. Just like so, if you want to do dots all over your page basically. There's your dot. But you can see mine is kind of spreading outwards. I don't know, it still looks cool, but I don't think I would personally do dots. It just doesn't seem like my type of fun. And the advice was don't let them be too close to each other, so that double dropped, because what's going to happen then, and I'll show you, is one dot is going to now creep into the next. So instead of having a dot, you're going to have that. So you can see it's pushing outwards because the dots are kind of encroaching on each other. So I thought that was a pretty cool technique. So you can see with this one, it's made a pretty little dot. And with this one, they've kind of blended. And then here you have like your shimmery background. And this is completely dried at the top. You can see at the bottom it's still wet. And there's no leak through and it's not warping. So that is obviously why you use Yupo paper instead of normal paper. Oh, I got a fingerprint on it. Man, that was all me. Look how cool that's looking though, like a fire and ice type of vibe. I love it. I do kind of want this to spread out and like mix with each other just a little. There we are. That looks so cool. That looks so cool. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone to dry now, and we'll be back in like 5 minutes to check on it. Okay, so I did start doing this off camera, and I thought let me just bring you back for a minute. So I'm trying to avoid the middle section where it is still very wet. So you can just touch it with your fingers very gently just to see. And I just want to try and get the areas on the edges, just to try and give it some color. And you can see it's giving it a gorgeous little gold outline, just to add some texture to it. Very pretty. Wow. Look how pretty that is. Look at that. That is pretty. Come on. So I want to add something with vinyl. Oh, you can see now I've got ink here. Like a Nana banana. Oh man, why did I do that? So we're going to have to try and make this look like it was part of our design somehow. Our beautiful artwork is dry. It looks like I've been doing surgery here. It's quite gross, but anyway, that's the point of it. So it's nice and dry. And I've chosen a gold phoenix. So I'm using a shimmer gold this time instead of the metallic, the textured metallic. So we're going to see how that looks. I did look at a few colors, but I think this is going to work. I was going to do white. I just feel like it's going to stand out too much. Okay, so I've cut around it because I don't really want the transfer tape to stick too much to our artwork. So that way or that way. Yes, it does matter actually. So he rises from the ashes. I like that. Okay, so now we're going to transfer it. Okay, finally. So now I'm going to very carefully place this. So you can see why I don't really want it to touch. Okay, so now you can go about obviously pressing this down because we're happy with it. And you can see it is still a bit sticky in some places. It does take a while for that stickiness to disappear, like 24 hours, I think. But how cool is that? I should have done it slightly up, but what I can do just to counteract that is I can actually just slice the top to make it more centered. But I love that. Like, these are two completely different vibes, and I love both of them. I do. That was fun. Like, that was seriously fun. So I hope that I've helped to highlight the differences between normal paper and Yupo paper. So you can see again, there's no, I mean, I've messed on the back, but there's no warping. So this is great if you want to give it as a gift or frame it, whatever, it will work perfectly. You're going to get that nice, I don't know, coverage with your alcohol ink. You're going to get a nice effect with it. I think it's really worth investing in this if you want to get a proper result. Just to follow up as well, I have not forgotten about our competition winner. I am going to have a look at that tonight, and hopefully maybe even before the next video I will be able to make somebody's day. I'm very excited for that as well. I've also got something exciting planned for March, so if you are interested in Granny Bee's paint, please keep an eye out, because this is going to get interesting. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you again soon.